15 losses in a row. I went 1-17 in quite a few of these games.
Great.
So I definitely am an expert with regards to the heroes that they've been picking.
Ah.
I graced a couple unranked games and lost, so I too am very well versed in this series coming head to head.
I have foregone all EU pubs. I refuse to go back into that hellscape. Not anywhere else in my life have I played pubs like EU. SCA pubs are better than EU pubs right now. Absolutely vile, disgusting. I don't know how they make it.
But what's vile about them, you know?
Just
Other than the people.
I can tell you exactly what's vile about them. I can literally tell you. You ask the question, you're trying to bait him. I can tell you, okay?
Okay, go on.
Here's the problem with the EU pubs. Nobody presses a single smoke of deceit, which is funny because everybody smokes here. So everybody's against smoking, which is funny. They just run at each other. It's just chaos. Run at the mid tower, fight nonstop. There's no structure whatsoever to it. Everybody just fights because they see Nigma doing it. Oh, I'm going to be Nigma. I'm GH now. I'm going to get Holy Locket and run at every single tower, which is what I did yesterday. I went 1-17.
Thank you.
It doesn't work.
I find they're very experimental in this region, you know? Last pick, off-lane Coddle, rushing Holy Locket. You know? Carry mid-Pudge. I don't know what's happening, and it's always the last pick, too. They save their real psychopaths for the end there.
Do they bait you, though? Like, do they hover on, like, a normal
Yes,
hero?
they do.
They go, like, TA, and it's like the bait and switch, bam, Cuddle. Wait. Like, yeah, exactly. Ugh.
Why? Why, though?
People just want to be cool, and they see a pro do something, and then they're like, I could be that too, and then they realize they're like 4.2k, and they don't have.
I mean, that
people
is
plugged
the
in.
dream, though. That's the dream of Dota. We watch these pro players, and we say, me and my stack can do this. You know? I could go Treant Protector and not, you know, be the worst human being imaginable, but they're wrong every time. Every single time.
There is a fine line. You know, experimentation in party queue, that's great. You know, that's basically what Dota's meant to be about. Experimentation in solo queue, you're either a genius or you're the biggest grief, and there's a fine line.
Here,
you know?
okay, here's going back to the pubs. I went 15 losses.
Yes, we've heard.
Okay. So
You're a loser, Jenkins. We understand.
I played about 6 games in a row with the boy Zai. Every game, he's just randoming, taking whatever role nobody else wants to play, and then he deletes his Mango and Fairy Fire at the start of the game. Every single time I get in, it kills me because that's what somebody does when they misclick. You hear the noise, and you're like, okay, we've lost. Like somebody misclicked, and like they're going to be tilted for the rest of the game.
No,
And everybody copies him, randoming first, taking whatever role.
Well, you know, he is very honorable. He doesn't want, he's like, you know, the kid in the pod racing, you know? He wants to have that slow start and then still win the game. Very honorable stuff, deleting your items for some.
It's a noble thing to do, honestly. Like, I know quite a fair few of randomers who I either loathe or love. It's hard to say, but they do also delete their Mango and Fairy Fire because they would like to, they enjoy the random, but not the cheats that you get from randoming.
So going back to, of course, Star Wars, I would actually say that Sir Action Slacks is the Jar Jar Binks of Dota 2.
Let's not talk about Disney IPs on the show now, all right, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we can, of course, talk about space battles, if you would, such as my friend on my head here, IP-free electric rodent.
Wow.
Yes, definitely with no relation to anything else, but gotta be careful these days, ladies and germs. Gotta be careful. So, still waiting for our draft here. No big deal. We're not just holding it out for fun, but I am interested in what you guys think about these two regions. Does SEA and China go head-to-head often? Do these guys know anything about each other?
In regards to like online events, there isn't really any kind of crossover between the two regions, especially kind of in the tier 1. But there will be kind of scrim partners. Like when you go to international events over there, like you are able to scrim both regions, so they for sure should be kind of versed with what they're practicing. I guess the main thing here is simply T1 has entered the major only playing DPC compared to Aster, where they've played in I-League, they played in DPC. Like the volume of games between these two teams is vastly different, and that could either be, you know, great for them or a handicap, for example, with T1.
I did see in SEA DPC, they were playing on China server for a lot of the matches there, surprisingly. So I suppose some of the teams prefer to play on that server, and then they probably do some sort of rule to decide which one to play on. But so I would imagine they scrim each other a lot, given that the closeness.
All right, well, fantastic. Man, I have to say, though, I'm very excited to see if there's going to be a difference between these teams that were already in the playoff bracket and the ones that had to play through the wild card in the group stages. I mean, the drafts have been so similar in the wild card groups, even I can guess what the heroes are at this point, which is abysmal. Do you guys think we're going to see a big difference between these guys who have already made it?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean,
Goodness gracious, the draft.
whoa!
Go ahead.
I was looking at all the pubs of these players to see what they're spamming, because you can see what they're trying to practice from their scrims, and yeah, it looks like they are picking it has been decided by the players, maybe through scrims, that whatever the meta was of the wild card in the group stage, it seems to be here to stay. I imagine there will be a few heroes coming in and out, but I don't think it's going to be some crazy change until maybe like the grand finals.
Yeah, I think the main thing with, let's say, like T1's journey to the major is they were, I'll use the term stubborn, just because like they were always going for like the same picks. It was like they were one of the few teams that were picking like Centaur first pick, the Lion first pick, and I think this is where we're going to see them either stick to the guns or, like Jenkins just mentioned, kind of morph into what the meta of this major has become. Because once again, these teams have been here since day one. They've been in their practice room, playing the pubs. Like the playoff teams have the biggest kind of test to either show development, because like they've not been forced to play any officials. They can basically copy, learn, adapt, and improve, and then show up in the single best of 3.
It feels good to see the Hidden Valley populated with Dota heroes yet again for 1,000 years.
The world's not even 1,000 years old, so it's good that we after Cataclysm.
You subscribe to that theory, eh? The Great Cataclysm.
Edge
yes.
of the world yet, Jenkins? Have you seen over the edge of the world?
I have not seen Over the Edge because
Wow.
I've not been able to fly plane.
You know, people always make fun of the flat earthers until one of them says, bring them to the edge, and they blindfold him. Then no one's laughing, okay?
That's not funny.
Terrifying.
Nobody wants to fall off.
As we see, the Enchantress picked up with a Dragon Knight, already looking pretty good. 2 very good heroes, but Mars still maintaining that high win rate, despite everyone knowing how to play against the hero, everyone understanding what the hero's about. He's a simple hero. There's no tricks with Mars. No one's doing anything cool. Ooh, but that's pretty cool.
Wow.
Second pick, Terry.
Wow.
Bold. No, I like that. In regards to the Mars, it's the idea that they mentioned it on the previous panel. It's the idea of pairings. Mars right now is one of the offlaners that has the best kind of enabling factor to getting, like, any ranged hero with Mars just gives you a great lane, right? Like, it's hard to have a bad lane, and that's why Mars has such great value. And then this TB pick going straight into Ldg, it's a development of, once again, the meta where if DK's an offlane, TB's going to have a great time. And he's always able to push out the lanes with his illusions going into mid-game. So if you're skipping and playing the correct areas of the map, this DK doesn't really have the greatest effect of just kind of barreling down a lane.
I think also something with this Mars and TB is that if you have a TB on your team, you never feel like you lack damage. Like, if you feel like you lack damage with a TB on your team, the guy probably like literally went AFK or something, because this hero just like completely obliterates. And so you just need people to be locked somewhere, right? Like locked in an area. Mars doesn't do that much damage now, other than like in the laning stage. But if you can get some other hero, like you said, Drow or this TB, to just chunk out damage during his arena, it looks absolutely amazing.
I also kind of like the idea of DK lineups. Traditionally, it's all about kind of that instant stun on one hero killing them. And we saw in like EG series when Arteezy was playing the TB, it was very sacrificial. He was always able to save the guy that was being jumped, and then they turn around the fight. And I don't think you can ever forget about the value of Sunder in these type of.
Sure.
Again, it's a smaller matchup, but it's an intricate part of how TB can actually play into this matchup.
I wonder how the Aghanim Scepter on TB, the fear, synergizes with the Mars ulti. I don't think it's that long of a fear, so maybe it's not the biggest of a deal, but I have never actually seen that combo together. You usually see, when in terms of fears, the Dark Willow with the
It's like the Lone Druid Mars. I remember, I think it was either Gunner or something, was like bashing on that about. I was like, guys, we need to be Lone Druid of Mars, and then the bear will run in and then fear everyone, and then they'll bash their faces
That's
into
just like
the wall.
a scuffed Dark Willow.
Yeah,
I feel like this is
exactly
Dark Willow.
Yeah, this is like ultra scuffed Dark Willow.
Yeah, but you know, it's something. You know, it's something on top of the fact that they already synergize pretty well
scuffed
together.
gameplay can win majors in
Yeah,
TI.
for sure. I mean, the whole game is scuffed.
Exactly.
Dota 2 is a crazy game.
Yep. Every
But
time that
beautiful nonetheless.
every time those brood babies die, the game nearly shuts itself off.
It does. It does.
Very
yeah.
terrifying stuff to play.
Speaking of
against.
which, completely ignored.
Yeah, what's up with that? Where is Brood Mama?
I mean,
T1 are losers with it. They've played it twice within the regional league, and then they lost both games. And yeah, Aster kind of skipping over.
I personally think XXS is literally the best brood on the planet too. So I'm shocked that T1 was okay with leaving that in and potentially getting brooded by him.
There's still plenty of time, sir.
Sure, yeah. Actually, Mars is a perfectly viable mid.
Lion.
And yeah, I mean, I'm sure they can play it mid.
They have played it mid in I-League DPC in both roles. And now T1, Whitemon most likely be able to get his Lion.
Oh, he's dancing.
Look at
We're in.
Woo!
We're in. I mean, Lion's got a lot to be happy about. It's been a really long time since he has been anything meta. Wow, Phoenix is very small. Look at that little creature. Lion's like half his size, for God's sake. He could eat that. It looks like a chicken. Imagine dying to a flaming chicken. Embarrassing. But anyway, Lion's had a rough ride for many seasons, and now he is top tier, so very cool.
I like this hero as a response to the kind of overwhelming healing and disengage that people are picking, because you have this Phoenix Mars like crazy team fight, right? What happens if you just burst one of these heroes before the fight even starts?
Yep. The Ignition God can sing and dance on the line.
I'm sorry. Yeah, it's just Morphling's model. Come on, guys. Look at that.
He's updated at some point, right?
Sweet Jesus. Look at him next to Lion. This beautiful, beautiful, evil creature that you have this nightmare of polygons. Get him out of my sight. All right, anyway. So Morphling picked up here. Usually we see Morphling picked up with these big synergies, you know. Your Willows, your Earthshakers. Nothing too crazy here. Does he go too well with anything on T1's lineup?
DK morph sounds pretty cool, actually.
Oh.
The double
Got the
stun, yeah.
like 7 seconds straight of stun. That sounds pretty nice.
Ooh, and then now the Lina pick from Aster. So this is very much a response to the Morphling. Mars, I would assume, would be offlane with the Phoenix here. Lina is now your mid, and you have that kind of explosive potential to kill the Morphling. I like how in the tournament so far we've seen the development of Lina going towards more kind of tankiness, like Yules, AC, BKB, play for yourself, and not just kind of like an Ags kind of meme style of build where you're trying to blow someone up. And that alone will give you quite a strong entry to the game.
Yeah, all you need to do on Lina is survive some initial burst, and a lot of teams are picking some crazy team fight and kind of area control. Like I would even consider Terrorblade to be a sort of area control hero, just because if you walk into him, you die, right? So if you sit next to a Terrorblade and he's meta'd and you're Lina, you can just sit there doing damage with him. Same with Mars, so you can't walk into the arena, you can't walk into the Phoenix Egg. And so picking these heroes with Lina, I think, makes a lot of sense, because then you don't need to care as much about the positioning element to Lina, where oftentimes she'll get so huge in the game, but then just feed, because she's this squishy mid hero that only does damage, the glass cannon, right? So I really do like this draft from Aster. I think they have a ton of damage in the late game and a lot of heroes to protect their damage as well.
The key thing is like they were limited on kind of the initial wave clear to protect their towers, because if DK is just your mid in this scenario, you need a mid that can also match up against that. Now Lina independently can kill off the creep, so DK can't always confidently hit the tower, and Aster's game is about buying time. Like T1, when you have heroes like Ench, like DK, Lion, they're looking for skirmishes, pickoffs, and the pure 5-on-5 they can never truly take unless their last pick, be it mid or off lane, kind of encapsulate that in one pick. But right now it's about getting quick kills, getting a couple items, and getting the game going on their side. Whilst Aster, with this Lina pick, the Phoenix, like they're basically accepting that they're going to play a slow-paced laning phase, push out lanes, and they're going to ramp up the aggression going into like the 25-minute mark.
Man, it's crazy to see that TA is just completely ignored.
These are upper echelon teams here. I like that they did their homework. Aster bans out the Bat Rider. T1 has been running Bat Rider a few times in the few games that they've played since they've done, you know, really anything since the DPC. So that's great. It means they did their research. They'll be ready for this one.
Yeah, and the key thing here is Aster just assuming that the DK is off lane, going to be paired with the Enchantress, and that it is going to be like a last pick for T1 going into the mid lane.
Dire team pick.
Eat the Lina, but have a great. You want to have jump and catch, but when your initial picks are very anti kind of,
Radiant
it's hard to
team
feel
pick.
everything in that.
Wow.
Goes for the Nick assassin.
Yeah, they get a last pick Nick. I can't believe that.
Yeah.
I know, they're just ignoring what so many people have valued in the stage in the wild card.
Both teams get Nick's banned against them a lot. So it's surprising that neither team bans it until
10
last
seconds
the last
remaining.
pick. This is always cool when you drafts have
5
studied
seconds
so much
remaining.
for this match that you can tell that kind of bait. And then the teams also know that the enemy team is baiting stuff, and so they're not picking, you know? But everything changes.
It also prevents, like, with Storm pick the team, fully subscribe to the idea of catch the quick hero, get a kill, and move next pick. Moves that from the game. You can't really go for less rack and give pace to your lineup. Yeah, like the fact that you get a last pick Nick really does. T1 are going to probably all their time hit, find out what they need.
TA is still the OP hero that's available for. Don't really have. I mean, it's another late game here. Morphling, that kind of sus, especially lacking damage since you're offlaner.
There it is.
Okay.
Your
Oh,
heroes.
They got a last pick Brood.
Sure,
All right.
Nixon into the Brood.
Wow.
Okay, so. Okay.
All right, so both, you know, has a little bit of flair of their own, but we do see a lot of these similar heroes. You were talking some big ups on the Broodmother. You make the difference here?
Was an Aster Brood? I would say yes. I mean, XXS, you give him a Brood game that's that he's gonna run up. I've heard about Cuckoo Brood, but I'm sure he's practicing it a lot.
Good things?
I don't know how this. I think there are the Mars, you know, are both good at spiders in the mid, and I think TB's fine against Brood. The armor. So all you need to do is in rotation if you're Aster, and I don't think the Brood is that much of a trump pick.
Yes, yeah, this Brood pick, it really puts a lot of emphasis of having to control of the. They need to be able to trick the map quite quick. The Eng can play really well with that. One bad fight, simplicity of Aster's lineup will just. It is a last pick Brood. It doesn't feel like the gotcha pick, but it's more about giving them a 15-minute timing to just.
Right, and it is a Radiant Brood. So when they're controlling the enemy Morphling, so that's make.
All right. Well, we'll be heading over to that game relatively soon, but I want to hear it. Prediction time, boys.
Prepare for
I'm
battle.
gonna have to go with Aster. The simplicity of their team fight unwind T1.
Simplicity of team fight. A very simple answer. Jenkins.
I agree. I think they have a ton of damage, and then they have great heroes.
Good enough for me, Jenkins. No need to elaborate. We've got that game ready to go. Let's throw it on into our first game of the day.
Thank you very much, Slax. Yes, T1 versus Aster, ready to go here. I'm ODPixel, joined by the fabulous Lacoste. Lacoste, I know, of course, you've been following both of these regions very, very close. We're finally going to get to see Aster and T1 coming into the playoffs to go head-to-head. What are your expectations looking at this first game, and what do you think about these sort of the scary picture on both sides? The Brood coming out from T1, but Aster having that strong old Terrorblade carry that just seems to win game after game. Okay, I think Lacoste just making his way over a few technical hiccups, but don't worry, that means you're stuck with me, just me for now. But here we go. Bouncer runes are spawning, and we're going to see any action. It doesn't look like it. Monet has a bit of a look in at the top, but of course not wanting to get involved. And we'll see what lane setups we're going to have. Anything surprising? Doesn't look like it. Cuckoo obviously starting up top on the off-lane Brood. We're going to have Zephyr up there as well, trying their best to put some harassment onto Monet on the early levels. Bottom lane, 23 Savage playing that carry morph. He's going to have to do it into the rather spooky lane here at the Phoenix and Mars. XXS Mars and Borax Phoenix. At least still have one hero, and definitely could be a lane. No ways. Oh, there we have it. You're in. Lacoste, how are you doing, sir? And
I'm back. I'm good. I'm good.
Yep, definitely. T1 against Aster. The best coming out from the both regions. T1, the team that improved the most in the second season. Definitely a team to look out for. 23 Savage and his signature hero, morphing on the bottom lane, paired up with the Lion. This is the standard tier 1 lineup that I've seen throughout the second season. Whitemon really does well on the Lion, been able to get so many clutch initiations once he gets a Blink Dagger. But yeah, looking at the lane setup, morphing against Lion, plus the good old school combo. We have Mars plus a Phoenix and Broodmother. Panel talked about Cuckoo, Broodmother, you know, not been impressed the most compared to some other Broodmothers, but I hope he's been practicing.
Sure. I mean, and this game, when you look at the Brood, can you see why T1 wanted to go that way with the ending of the draft? Is this a good Brood game, or are you looking at Aster's lineup and feeling that they have got ways to deal with Cuckoo and his spiders?
It looks like a good Broodmother game. They don't have that one hero that can just go in and park himself in the lane. Probably gonna need to be Mars when TB goes back to jungle, but we'll see. Because like Lina is not sustainable. You want to give all the levels pretty much to Broodmother. Enchantress can also get some farm in the jungle and leave some solo XP for the Broodmother. Get that level 6 early on, start to pressure the tower, and to go back to Cuckoo's Broodmother. He's been the only Broodmother that I've seen that invades enemy triangle.
Okay. Oh, bottom, Whitemon, nearly dying there. He's got himself good to go. And oh yeah, so far Cuckoo, I mean, he's laning, looking pretty damn hot. You know, 12 for 2 against the 8-0 Monet, having that lane advantage here as there we have it. He's not having a fun time here. We saw earlier, you know, Zephyr just harassing Lanham out of the lane and actually able to get the first blood on him. So I mean, this top lane is. I don't think it could be going any better here for T1. This is a fantastic start up top.
It's a great start for them. And Lanham, he needs to be more careful. Usually he's the one playing these tanky position 5s, playing the Abaddon, playing the Treant Protector, so much better at trading. This time around, it's a Nyx Assassin 5. You know, this hero doesn't trade well, doesn't provide with much early on, something that Lanham does, extremely greedy player. Once he plays that Nyx Assassin, going for the Witchblade into Aghanim Scepter, especially if he finds that Philistone Spear.
Oh, and they're doing
Fake
breathing
hype
down here. Whitemon. He's only got one tango left to give him. So yeah, it's 23 Savage. He's going to have to be quite cautious down. He's got the courier coming out, but just the Band of Elven skin. No further regen. So definitely chance for Aster to pressure. And look at this XXS. He's able to see the opportunity to get the spear in, but 23 Savage still with just enough strength to stop Aster from diving in further with the two of them. And he is going to have to be careful. As I say, sitting under this tower, very, very low. The pressure really being put on this bottom lane for 23 Savage.
Couriers are going back. They need to bring a healing salve. Whitemon already bought one. XXS Mars has been very impressive throughout the first and the second season. He might actually be the best Mars player in the world. Top lane, a lot of pressure. They didn't block the big camp, so Enchantress keeps getting these creeps. And now Monet.
I mean, he's just crushing it up there. Yeah, he's killing Lanham. He's killing Monet now. And now Lanham, I mean, he's got to run. I don't know how safe he's going to be either. He has got the Spike Carapace, so from some of the impetus damage, but they're having a fantastic time, this top lane. Zephyr and Cuckoo on the Enchantress Brood. They're making sure this Terrorblade has a really tough opening this game.
This lane just might be done. Like, TB, one more death, and he needs to get the hell out. Right now, doesn't have a Conjure image, so can't really farm the jungle that effectively. We didn't talk too much about the mid lane. It's pretty even in terms of CS 2020. Dragon Knight can't be really killed by Lina. Dragon Blood 3 points in it, so pretty hard to take down. White Album, he's gonna need to do some heavy lifting in this game. Like, he needs to be able to have a good game, because top lane is pretty much a disaster. 29 and 9 on Cuckoo. Last time I've seen him play the Broodmother, he invested a lot of gold in all these small items.
Is he gonna? I don't think he's gonna get away from this. Zephyr, he's not got any mana left. Still, Lanham just having to run himself probably all the way back to base here. No healing on him. As yeah, Zephyr continues to be a right nuisance. I mean, when you see sort of Zephyr have this strong start, is there potential for him to make moves? I mean, are we going to see action coming over towards the mid? You know, what do you do with such a good start that you've had top as T1?
You can rotate to the mid lane. There's a ton of kill potential, especially with the siege creep approaching. Dragonite about to hit level 6, has enough mana sustain with the soul ring, so potentially a kill there. But what he's doing right now is just giving XP to Broodmother because he set him off for a really good start.
Yeah. No, he really did. Cuckoo is going to be very, very happy with this. You know, top CS now able to start putting the pressure into the tower. And
Monet's gone.
just still look. He's looking a bit lost. Where does he? He's just got to hit the jungle creeps, right?
He has to. Right now, he was just leeching XP until he got that level 4, gets the Conjure Image, and now starts the jungle. Top lane gone. Once the top tier 1 tower falls, it gives Broodmother even more space to play the jungle. So he might be able to go inside it, might be forced to go inside the triangle and farm there.
See around the mid lane as well, Zephyr did grab himself an Invis rune, sentry laid down by Aster though, so they'll be ready for him heading in. Zephyr just making the walk through the jungle, seeing if he can potentially find Monet and put pressure on. Meanwhile, on the bottom half here, 23 Savage did sort of have a similar struggle at the start in regards to CS. He's level with CS as Monet. So definitely going to be a game where, you know, the eyes are going to have to be on these offlaners. They're going to become quite the beast. XXS still a little bit, well, quite a bit behind Cuckoo with the way they split the XP. You know, Cuckoo already level 6. He's got those spiders building up. XXS, he's only just about to hit the 5. So without a doubt,
Big
Cuckoo
difference.
just leading this game yeah, with a huge charge.
Yeah, and we can see, I said the TB needs to be in a triangle. He was sitting there until the creeps respawn because Lina was farming it, and now they put the Mars on the top lane. Like, this is their only option. I've seen a lot of Mars just keeping the casual Ring of Health. This time around, upgraded to Hood of Defiance. Wants to be able to tank it, and he even puts up another point in God's Rebuke. Lanham.
Oh, he's dead. Easy kill here for Cuckoo. I mean, but it doesn't seem like a fun Nyx game to play. You know, Lanham very much struggling anytime he comes near Zephyr or Cuckoo. These heroes deal with him very easily.
Yeah, usually when I see Lanham, he goes Nyx, Nyx, Nyx. This time around, it's just one sad Nyx. And they collapse on the mid lane. Cuckoo, I love this rotation. Goes to the mid lane. Same goes for Zephyr. He's lurking around the mid lane. They want to secure this tower. Dragonite can tank all the damage pretty much. Such a good game from T1. And 23 Savage, he understands there is going to be some kind of rotation to the bottom lane. I better TP to the top, get the XP. Mars can't kill me unless I really mess up.
I mean, as you say, this Cuckoo Brood, he's all over the place. You know, this is not your stationary Brood. He's from top lane to mid, and as you expected, you know, into this triangle. This is, yeah, he's just pretty much taken over the whole map. And then, you know, if you're Aster, how do you play against this? Do you have to sort of group up and try and hunt down the Brood? What's the best move for Aster right now?
They need to use Arena if they want to catch the Brood. Here we go, Arena drop.
Laguna and the spear, that'll do it. I throw everything down here onto Cuckoo, but oh, yes, no, he got down to a neutral creep, Lacoste.
Oh, so nothing.
Oh, no.
Least,
well, there we go. Oh, no.
At least he doesn't get the free TP.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, but yeah, that's definitely a bit of a rough ending to that one there for Aster. Not even getting the kill. Oh no.
And they need to set up some vision in the triangle, the Radiant Vision, to be able to just, like, there is one ward on the high ground, but maybe one deeper one just to be able to allow Cuckoo to play more aggressive, because that is gonna, you know, set him back a bit.
See so far, you know, coming up the sort of carry matchup still. 23 Savage with nearing a 1k advantage against Mono. Still going to be a very slow ramp up here for the Terrorblade. White
right
down
now
bottom, trying to find his level 6.
Terrorblade doesn't feel really like a carry right now. Needs he has same amount of farm as Enchantress pretty much. So yeah, position 4 Terrorblade coming into your pubs.
As definitely the scarier of the two right now with how much pressure this Enchantress has put on. Monet, he's out of that top half of the map. He's down towards bottom. TP's coming in. Carl, he's going to be able to TP and open up with the Dragon Tail Stone onto White Album. See if they've got enough bursts. They have. Their fingers up. That's going to be White Album gone. Getting a little too close there to them as Carl pretty much TP's right in front of the face of White Album, and he's not able to get away in time. An easy catch and kill there for T1 on the defense.
Aster still needs to get a single kill on the board, unfortunately for them. Yeah, it's about that mental game, Owen, where neutral creep stole it, mid lane, Aster.
They're going in for XXS. He's got the backup of Monet, but there's not going to be anything that helps XXS here. They cannot save him another game. I mean, 5 for 0.
Both of his abilities used, didn't have anything left to give. Disenchanters has been very active early on. They've been controlling the jungle, and something that I mentioned, you know, the Cuckoo trying to invade the enemy triangle, and here he comes again. Because this is where the most farm comes from for TB.
Dire's structures
Yeah,
are fortified.
absolutely. Yeah, if Cuckoo can sort of make his presence known around here, going to cause a lot of issues for sort of the farming pattern that Mono wants to get back in. And see him back at base and deciding where to head. Now, where is actually going to be safer for him to farm, and it's not an easy decision to make with how much control T1 is just exuding across the map here in these first opening minutes. Bottom lane, Carl will get caught in the arena, and they'll have to burst for the DK. So again, Aster trying their best here with the group up. They bring the full 5-man down here to get a kill. Ideally, though, for them, on top of that, they need to get an objective, and they will start pushing towards the tier 1. Problem is, top lane, they're starting to get some pressure onto their own tier 2. 23 Savage and Cuckoo pushing in.
Glyph already used by Team Aster, so they need to force a rotation. Right now, they have way too many heroes at the bottom lane. Like, TB doesn't have a meta. Jackie, pause the game.
Oh. Okay. Briefly unpaused.
Apparently, that's allowed. Don't click F9, Owen. We do not want to test it if we can pause the game.
I don't want to test the F9. Don't press F9.
Hands off keyboard. I'm just using my mouse right now. Some deep vision set by Team Acer. 2 wards, pretty much covering the same spot. They see TP rotations on the outpost possibly, so even if one gets devorded, the second one will still give you that vision that you need, something that you don't expect. And Cuckoo on the top lane, taking care of the outpost. Hood down, going into pipe to be able to tank up. This is where the most damage is going to come from. Early magic damage from Lina, from Mars, so he wants to be able to tank up his team. They could potentially go inside the pit, like if they get to 2 kills. Right now, Dragonite getting closer to Blink Dagger, so once he have that, it will be much easier to set things up. There will have that instant initiation.
Go Aster, out on the hunt. They want to find Cuckoo. They want to find that pesky spider. See if they can get the catch on him, Cuckoo. They've got their read up. Spiders are gone. And Cuckoo, he'll try his best to dodge the spells. We'll dodge a fair few of them. It's a good effort from Cuckoo, but unfortunately for him, not enough to save his life. As Aster, they'll be able to take him out once again. Yeah.
They need to be playing around the Broodmother. Broodmother is super tanky. If there's one stun, pretty much one spell that can keep them in place, possibly Lion, and here we go. Smoke coming out from T1. 23 Savage, Mask going into Yasha, SNY, just to have that status resistance against all of these stuns. White Album, that's full, Yule's done.
And he's going to be heading back, won't be caught off by this movement. Heading back to refill the mana. They won't find anything with the smoke T1. Cuckoo back in action, ready to start putting the pressure on in the middle lane. Monet finally finding himself some good space down bottom, but still needs a fair bit of time. A lot of recovery still needed here from Monet's Terrorblade to catch up to the likes of Cuckoo and, of course, 23 Savage, who's having a fantastic recovery after what was a tough laning stage for him, at least, that Aster did put against the Morphling.
So far, 23 Savage has been farming, not involved in a single kill. Once he has that SNY done, status resistance is going to be great. They don't have that real save, like they don't have a saving tool, they don't have a Glimmer Cape, nothing. Nature Attendance, not even skilled for the Enchantress. Zephyr wants to be able to scale, and he's going to become like that another core from position 4 once he gets the items.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Of course, even able to grab some of these TB illusions, get them to farm for himself. You've got to watch out for Zephyr's potential as the game goes on, as we've already seen 3